Hey everybody, in this wizard build video for the game of Frostgrave, I'll be creating an enchanter that likes to make permanent magical items. Hey everybody, I'm Alan, with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. Tabletop gaming with bricks and blocks and helping to build your gameplay experience. In this video, I'll show you my enchanter's spell list, discuss their main spells and strategies, discuss how their other spells fit in, recommend some soldiers to hire for this wizard, and give my thoughts about using this build in a game. So let's get to the bricks and blocks of this enchanter build for Frostgrave. For their spells, from the primary school, I've selected Embed Enchantment, Enchant Armor, and Enchant Weapon. From the aligned schools, I've selected Elemental Hammer, Mud, and Right Scroll, and from their neutral schools, I've selected Bone Dart and Heal. All three of this wizard's enchanter spells are central to their theme and strategy. During a game, Enchant Weapon, casting on a low 8, should be cast early on a combat-focused soldier, and should be cast on a few other figures throughout the game to give a slight fight boost, provide a source of magic damage to anything immune to normal weapons, and to ensure that two figures survive each battle while still having an active enchant weapon spell on them, so that after the battle, Embed Enchantment, casting on a difficult 14, can be used by both wizard and apprentice to ideally make the +1 fight bonuses on those weapons permanent. The first figure to get a permanent magic weapon should be the main fighting soldier. Then a ranged soldier's bow or crossbow should be targeted, as this will increase their chances to hit their target, while also placing a magic weapon in the hands of a figure that's less likely to die in combat, thus reducing the chances of losing that magic weapon due to a poor survival roll. And if the spellcasters seem to be the target of a lot of enemy attacks, increasing their own fight with the enchant weapon spell is a solid choice. Then Embed Enchantment can also be used in combination with an Enchant Armor spell which was cast during the game, casting on just an 8. Generally, it's better to fill a soldier's one item slot with a magic weapon rather than magic armor, and I have a video comparing fight versus armor which goes into more details on that. But there's a few instances where the magic armor is great. With treasure hunters and knights, since they carry daggers, and the rules say that a magic dagger does not fill an item slot, they can carry enchanted daggers and enchanted armor. And if you have a captain, the specialist soldier found in the Sellsword and Frostgrave Folio books, they have multiple item slots, so you can potentially give them a magic sword, magic armor, and a magical bow. Also, since the 2nd edition weapon chart replaced heavy armor +1 with armor of elemental absorption, this spell combo is the only way in the game to get heavy armor +1. From their aligned Sigillus school, the enchanter knows Right Scroll, casting on a 14. This should be used to make scrolls of Embed Enchantment to speed up the magic weapon creation process, as the scrolls provide insurance against failed embed rules. Next, they have the neutral Heal spell, casting on a 12. With all the work required to make magical equipment, keeping soldiers equipped with those items alive and thus minimizing the number of after-game survival rolls can help to ensure the spellcaster's investments. To further the theme of powering up their soldiers, from the aligned Elementalist school, they've chosen Elemental Hammer, which casts on a 12. This provides another buff to a soldier's weapon, and is great for fighting high-health monsters like bears or trolls. Although this wizard usually likes to stay away from the action, letting all their soldiers do the work, when enemy figures do get within 12 inches, Bone Dart is a great tool to make enemies rethink their life choices. And since it shouldn't need to be used frequently, the casting number of 14 for being a neutral spell isn't too much of a concern. Another way to keep enemies away is the aligned Mud spell, casting on a 12. This can also be used under the feet of enemy treasure carriers to slow their escape from the battlefield, giving allies with enchanted bows more time to pick them off. Once the wizard has spent the required funds to train an apprentice, if a player has access to the rules for the captain soldiers, this enchanter build is great for trying out one of these soldiers to maximize their item slots for magical items. When hiring a captain, there's still some questions regarding whether or not their basic starting equipment has to be paid for in the second edition. But for this video, I'm assuming the items do have to be purchased. So the captain will have a hand weapon, shield, light armor, and a bow, which will add 10 gold crowns to their base 100 gold crown hiring fee. It has been ruled in the second edition that captains must take quivers to use their bows or crossbows. They'll get these for free, but they'll also fill up their 5th and final item slot. For their stat bonus and special abilities, I'd recommend improving their shoot stat and taking tricks of the trade that help with shooting, as ranged attacks are a safer strategy with these soldiers so they don't end up dead or with permanent injuries. A good alternative to the captain is a knight, costing just 5 more gold crowns in this scenario, and then teaming them up with a man-at-arms and 2 infantrymen to give a variety of options for equipment to enchant. Then adding 2 thugs and 2 thieves to finish out the starting warband. During a campaign, as soon as extra funds allow, one of the thieves should be replaced with a ranger, then the thug should be replaced with a barbarian for some heavy attack power, and a treasure hunter to eventually take advantage of the magical dagger and magical armor combination discussed earlier. With leveling up early in a campaign, the focus should be on improving the casting numbers for embed enchantment and enchant weapon to really get the magical weapons flowing. And health should be increased to help with empowering spells. Once the weapon making is consistent, the battlefield strategy should shift toward using Bone Dart, so improving that spell and the fight stat, as the spellcasters will need to get closer to the action, should become the focus later in the campaign. And when extra money is available, purchasing in Enchanter's workshop to give a +1 to embed enchantment rules is kind of like purchasing a level for 400 gold crowns. There are a lot of ways to make an effective enchanter in Frostgrave, as their school boasts one of the most useful and well-rounded spell lists in the game, and they have some great options with their aligned schools as well. I think this particular build would be a fun wizard to play, as there's something cool about making magical equipment, and it's a very functional build beyond that. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this enchanter build, and if you've ever made an enchanter that creates magical equipment. I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. I want to thank you for watching and play well.